struggle
a thing about what they just did.
provide their foods, provide food to
See,
their
this is
families.
Local
They have
99. That's
even
got to
at
be
the end of the
SEIU, right?
Please, thank you.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna let that.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you.
Alma, or Alma
Nayameki? Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Amma. I'm the Executive Director of Educators for Excellence and a proud member of Communities for Los Angeles Student Success. But I'm also a proud parent of a future LAUSD graduate.
Great.
Last week I had an experience that reminded me in a very personal way of exactly what's at stake here. I was driving with my daughter and she was chattering in the back seat, and I realized she was reciting the alphabet. She made it all the way to the letter V, and she's not yet 2 years old. In that moment, I was reminded that our kids are truly capable and worthy of greatness, and that it's up to us, the adults in their lives, to give our children capable and worthy schools, teachers, and leaders. So if my 20-month-old daughter can recite her ABCs, then I fully believe that the adults in this room can pass an LCFF budget that prioritizes her needs and all children in LAUSD. While there is still work to be done to ensure equity for kids, to invest in better school climates and restorative justice, there is much to be celebrated in this budget. The investment in professional development and staff retention, the $8.8 million in foster youth is an important first step. The adoption of the Student Needs Index is also a really critical shift toward investing more dollars in our historically underinvested communities and kids. But we must take the next two important steps. First, we must develop a public community report card that measures exactly how LCFF dollars are improving outcomes for our English language learners, our foster youth, our children living in poverty. And second, we must see LAUSD move quickly toward a model that gives local schools much more budget training, autonomy, and accountability so that they can make spending decisions that make sense for their kids.
The guy they got to deal
this
with.
Opportunity, and I thank you for your time and your leadership.
Thank you so much. Lanny Larson. Welcome, sir.
My name is Lanny Larson, and I am a former teacher at Bravo Medical Magnet, retired this year. And that's what I came to talk with you about. You see, we have a real problem. We want to get the best teachers we can for our students, and that's where I have been for many years. I've taught for 38 years for this district. In that time, I've had a lot of students who have gone on to do some very great things. Last year from our school, we had 4 of our students who were accepted to MIT. This year, 5 of my students have scored in the finals in the biology Olympiad. I could go on and on. I had a parent that came to me this year as I was getting ready to retire and said, "Thank you for teaching my daughter her biology. She didn't get the best grades in your class, but she learned to love biology." These are the kind of things that reward me. But I don't feel very much reward coming from you. In fact, I don't feel any. Because I am retiring this year on the same salary that my colleagues received 7 years ago when they were at the same level I am. Do you know what that means to me in retirement? That means that they have received a 2% COLA from the CalSTRS over the last 6 years, because it starts with the second year. They have received a 2% COLA, which amounts to just over $9,000 a year more than I will receive, because you have not given me anything to give to the state to provide them money that they can calculate my retirement on. That is $9,000 more every year, not once, every year for the rest of my life, that a colleague of mine that retired 7 years ago will get more than I will. That doesn't seem to me like you appreciate my work very much.
Thank you. Next speaker is Patty Lopez.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Patty Lopez, and I'm a pleasure to be here. But the reason I'm here is because I see the budget for the local control is nothing really direct to our needs in our schools. And I'm really concerned. Like a parent, I have a kid with special needs. And every decision that you make with the local control, I don't see any of those plans in my schools and the district. They're talking about foster youth, they're talking about learning language like a second language, but I don't see a space for special needs. And really, every year my kid had to travel one school to another to find the quality education that she deserves. The other thing, I just want to keep it in record that there is several organizations working in my community. They're supposed to working with parents and being surveyed, but not all schools in my area. And the same thing with a board member. I would really appreciate it when you make a survey all the schools that you represent, not just a few, because that's not really represent all the portion of the needs for our needs. The other thing is, I have a question. What is the money for the adult education? When are you going to restore in that back? When Ms. Lamont was here, I remember she went to the valley and hosted a meeting. They're supposed to start the process to get the money back. So please don't forget adult education. That literacy is part of that schools. The 20 schools keep closed until this time, and we keep fighting for education. And at the ending, I'm representing parents activos from the San Fernando Valley, not Parent Revolution. I just want to keep it clear in that record. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Ricardo Benitez. Welcome, sir.
Hello, board members. Hello, stakeholders. My name is Ricardo Benitez, and I also want to talk about the local funding. I'm so excited about this local funding, but I'm kind of disappointed the way they're going to be used. Not because they don't deserve it, it's because, it was designed for one thing, to improve education. As Ms. Lopez said, we've been struggling about training the adult educations. I've been talking to young adults outside in the street, and they are suffering because they don't have anything, anywhere to go. Some of them selling juice, some of them collecting aluminum cans, some of them doing other things, but not getting the education they deserve. These people doesn't have the money to go to university or no other places. So I want to ask you that work with them and give them the opportunity, bringing the education, the adult education back, and also returning those laid off teachers to come to their classrooms, because it's very needed to improve our education. We need the education go to 8.5 or 9 at least. Otherwise, our kids going to be on the street. So also, for the returning the kid programs, such as art, sport, and music, and other ones. But, I will be happy, and I think everybody will be happy to get all these kids on the street and put it back in school. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Carolina Perez.
The very first allotment. One of my uncles was one of the players in that. Yeah.
Welcome.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Carolina Perez. These copies, we mailed the copies to you, to all the board members. This is for Monica Radley, our representative. We are Padres Activos from the San Fernando Valley. We come here to advocate all the time for our children. And for the local control formula, when the Prop 30 passed, we start to working. So it was a process for us parents. We sit with all organizations. We sit with the lawyers, so ACLU. We went to advocate to Sacramento to bring more funds to our school. But now they are here in our district. It's very disturbing to see that you're going to spend $13 million in a school police. That's a bad message, because you had to spend the money in parent engagement. If you see problem with the students, so involve the parents. And also, you need to spend the money in mentors and programs and preventing programs, not police. So we are parents, we are very vigilant in the school, and we're going to continue fighting. And I hope you listen to us, because we don't want to go again to Sacramento. We are going because Patty is running. So we are going to Sacramento with the ACLU lawyers, and we're going to tell this district how it's working. So please do the best for our students, and please put the dollars directly to the schools. Not just in the air with police, with buildings, personnel. We want this money directly to the students, to the schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Anale Cervantes.
You don't need to interrupt from day one. And you know what I just found?
Then we had Connie McCoster. Excuse me. Next one is Nadia Hinojosa. Nadia Hinojosa. 3 times. Next one is Karen Salazar. Karen Salazar. Karen Salazar. Next one is Kendra Weber. Kendra Weber. Kendra Weber. Next one is Pat Jacko. Pat Jacko. Next one is Hattie McFrazier. Hattie McFrazier and Jasmine Song. So you're splitting your time. Be one at a time at the podium. Welcome.
Before we start, since none of those people are here, can we take their time?
No. That was a good try, Hattie.
Good afternoon, Dr. Vladovic, President, also board members, and Superintendent Daisy. I am a very strong advocate for all of our children in LA Unified School District, and I want to make sure that every child in LA Unified receive a high-quality education, and that it doesn't matter where they live, the color of their skin, or their economic status. What we are concerned about today is to make sure that you understand that all children can achieve, but we must give them that opportunity to achieve, and that means that you must make sure that you make the right choice when you get ready to vote on this budget. And I'm very concerned because each of you here, the 6 of you, are accountable for your community, not only your community, since we don't have anyone in District 1. My district is important that you represent every district in LA Unified. I'm so proud to see so many children here today, because today I'm going to give my other half to a student in a classroom that knows what goes on each and every day that affects them. And making your decision today, think about our children.
You got it.
I'm Jasmine, and I'm going into the 8th grade. I hear about a lot of different problems that students go through. Not only school-related problems, but personal ones. Many students get bullied and don't come to school, face family issues, and end up depressed or angry. Problems like these can be solved with LAUSD student support services. Students are mentally and physically hurting. For example, in Oregon, there's a shooting and a teenager killed a high school student. There have been many shootings ever since, and I think it's really bad. If these people got help, and student support, these events probably wouldn't have happened. I also think schools need more variety of electives, and so students can express creativity and explore their different interests. At my school, I have many electives, and I think other schools should have as much as my school.
You have to finish it now. Thank you so much.
Roberto Viramontes.
You know what we need to do? Still. To make it the
Mr. Viramontes, move on. Catherine Williamson.
And then Ginger Fox should be on deck over here, and that will do it. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
My name is Catherine Williamson. I'm a general music teacher in LAUSD.
Great.
And I'm very impressed by the 2012 Arts at the Core resolution. Thank you for that. I think the question has been how to execute this resolution. And I've spoken to many arts teachers, and we believe that a restoration of arts teachers to the 2008-2009 numbers is the answer. We all have our arts instructional guides. We, arts teachers, do teach arts integration, and we don't really think that we need designated arts integration teachers. We are integration teachers already. I was disappointed in the proposal in PowerPoint by Dr. McCarthy in April. I do not believe, like many of you question, that a 9-week pilot rotation of the arts is in any form arts education. And one of you mentioned that maybe isn't that just throwing breadcrumbs to students, and I believe it is. I believe that is. At this time, general music teachers are in school for an entire year. For over 100 years, music teachers have been in all of our schools. We are not in all of our schools at this point, but in that year that we teach, we are able to teach children how to read music, sing with their beautiful voice, make their own music. We teach them how to play recorder, how to play xylophone. We also teach them the wonderful heritage of folk music from America and around the world, and we teach them storytelling through that heritage. And I just want to continue that, and I cannot do that in 9 weeks. And so, in conclusion, I just really want us to go back to the 2008-2009 level of arts teachers so that we can truly give our children true arts education.
Thank you. And our last speaker of the day, welcome. Turn around so the audience can see. All right.
So, my name is Ginger Rose Fox, and I'm the chair of the UTLA Arts Education Committee, a proud PTA member, and a superhero for arts education. As we know, universal access to high-quality arts education must be one of our highest priorities. And indeed, increasing funding for the arts ranked in the top 10 as number 7 by respondents at the town halls and the online survey. In addition, the Arts at the Core implementation plan calls for significantly increasing funding for arts education to levels that ensure sequential arts courses for all elementary and secondary schools beginning in 2014-15. However, this budget and LCAP does not go far enough to ensure we meet those goals and the state priorities of implementing all of the state content and performance standards, including the Visual Performing Arts standards, nor does it ensure a broad course of study for all students K-12 that includes all of the subject areas described in the Education Code, including dance, music, theater, and visual arts. I urge you to significantly increase funding to restore the elementary arts program by adding approximately $16 million and restoring at least 100 FTEs distributed equitably between all art forms to provide direct and discrete arts education. In addition, I urge you to add a dedicated funding line to ensure adequate arts supplies and materials. In line with the newly adopted Equity Index, I urge you to include research on equitable access to arts education for our secondary students. students, as currently many of our 6th through 12th grade students lack access to arts education. The budget now capped does not address increasing arts ed for secondary at all. I urge you to adjust the norm counts to provide an adequate number of off-norm positions at every secondary school so that every student has equitable access to a broad course of study that includes high-quality visual performing arts, including dance, music, theater, and visual arts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Board, we have one item left. Just to clarify, we have a board meeting next week, but first we have a committee meeting at 10 o'clock, and that's headed by Mrs. Ratliff, so I hope all of you come to that meeting. That's C&I, if I'm not... Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment Committee on June 24th. Then, after that meeting at 4 o'clock, we will have the budget adoption meeting, beginning at 4 o'clock. It doesn't mean it's going to end at 4 o'clock. Probably won't. Maybe 4 p.m. or a.m. I don't know. No, I'm joking. But anyway, I wanted you to know. So we're going to have a regular number of speakers, regular number of times. This concludes. It will be our last meeting of the year. Then we will have our next meeting on July 1, and then the summer hiatus. So with that, Mr. Crane, we're now going to move to miscellaneous.
Dr. Vladovich?
Yes.
So, board members, on item 3, what I'd like to propose, I'm going to move that we separate this item and we adopt the regular board meeting for July 1, 2014. It could be at 10 o'clock. And I want to offer that we postpone the adoption of the annual board to August, post-election of District 1. So this is a waiver of Board Rule 1 that sets the annual meeting. And of course, this is contingent upon meeting all legal parameters that our staff would have to consider. So what I'm asking you today is not to set the adoption of the annual meeting so that we might identify. And my expectation is that our current president would serve as our president until we meet in the new year.
Well, I would second that motion. I would just ask if we could have the annual board meeting at 4 o'clock in August, post-election, per all the other...
So the swearing in of someone would have to include, out of respect for the person being sworn in, we would have to... for whoever gets elected.
Not July 1, there won't be.
No. You're saying, so not the, I'm sorry, Ms. Ratliff, do you mean the regular board meeting to have it at 4 o'clock?
Yes.
I'm fine with that. Because we were trying out.
So this would be for the
Well, I believe that I believe that we're going to have another meeting coming up at 4 o'clock. I just think it would be nice to... Yes, I think it would be nice to try 4 o'clock for a little while, see how it's going, be consistent for the people as well.
I accept that friendly amendment. So, board members, then what I'd like to propose is that we set the regular board meeting for July 1 at 4 o'clock and postpone action on the adoption of the annual board meeting until we hear from council.
I second that.
Seconded, okay.
Moved by Ms. Garcia, second by Ms. Ratliff.
So, if I understand correctly, that because sometimes there is business that comes up that we have to deal with in July, so you're saying that we would still meet July 1st, but not do the business of the annual board meeting until August.
Correct.
Because we have a closed session that day, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct, Board President. And then this is subject to legal review. We've done a very cursory review, and I believe that this is lawful for the board to continue the annual meeting to August, but I'd like a little bit more time to fully explore this and look at that. I would be able to report back on the next Tuesday about the legality of doing that. So, board members, this would be contingent upon passing that legal muster.
So, board members, and I just want to remind you that Dr. Vladovich had proposed that we have a business meeting at 1 o'clock on July 1 and then not meet again until August whenever we start the year. Our business includes a closed session and an open session, and I'm expecting that as we are working to deal with the June 24th meeting, that we all, by starting a meeting later, means we will be more brief and concise and intentional about our dialogue. So there's a closed session. How many hours do we need on the...
We could have a closed session, regular board meeting at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock?
And then a 4 p.m. business meeting at 4 o'clock. Board members, if you want to give me 4 hours, that'll give me more comfort, but I believe... okay.
I hate to be closed session and give him sufficient time, because I've always found we end up talking in closed session a little bit longer, and there'll be negotiations. So I would say 4 hours on that one. We start at 12.
Yes, thank you, Board President.
And we go to 4 o'clock, have the
regular July 1st meeting.
This is July 1, and then hopefully keep it under control and get out of here at a decent hour, but cover all
So
of it.
I'm not opposed to the closed session piece, but Ms. Ratliff, I am accepting your amendment to 4 o'clock for the regular board meeting.
Right.
As the closed session is not before us, so they will do what they need to do.
So the resolution is to have a noon regular board meeting for closed session items, a 4 p.m. regular board meeting for business items. We are going to have the annual meeting appear as an agenda item on the June 24th meeting, and it can be adopted at that point.
Okay.
It's because it's pending the legal review.
Mr. Kaiser, you had a comment?
Yes. We'll have in July. Maybe I'm answering my own question. Never mind.
Those are the best answers, I'll tell you, when that occurs. Because that happens to me all the time. Are there any objections? None? So ordered.
Thank you. It is 4:22 p.m.
like both, you know. I don't know if any people that sit in their feet sometimes. Remember everyone about you. And then they think they're buying into the state, buying into the whole thing. You know, I was raised in that. I don't know what the fuck it's about. You hit an argument, have a big sandwich, put my kids on top of that. They were really serious. Never was that. You go back there and see the map of our whole town. That's for 12 people because I'm the only one who gets $100,000. And that was probably a discount one. Yeah. Over $100 without parking. Really? Well, I asked my stepdaughter how much the season pass was. Yeah, they got season passes. I mean, I don't even know why people are deciding about this. Or the boat race as long as they're on spike. Right, my kids are running boat races. What, we had a boat run out on a shorter front boat. Trust me, I just